Hello. I have a question for you real quick. We were over at the Collective earlier. Were you there today? The store on Summit Avenue?
Yeah.
The owner there said that a purse went missing from the front and she wasn't sure where it might be.
Okay.
She said she was speaking with another customer when you were there. Do you happen to know, did you see the purse that
I looked
mentioned?
around there.
Looked around there?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't take anything?
No.
No? Okay. Do you mind if I look through your bag?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I just went shopping.
Okay.
What's your first name?
Lisa?
Lisa?
Yeah.
I'm Lieutenant Medina, Officer Collins Carpello. This is Detective Mike Freedom. This is probably just the wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
I understand you probably can't confront it. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to do our job.
I understand.
It appears that you were the only person in the store when this went missing. And sometimes we pick things up by accident. Like if we're just gathering our stuff and it seems like you have a lot of stuff. We just want to rule that out.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold. I'm freezing. I just stand outside. There's more people outside. The bottom line is, if you just open your purse and show us that the Louis Vuitton thing wasn't inadvertently picked up, that's a different story, right? But at this point, unfortunately, I think we have enough to detain you because you're the only person in the store. So
I wasn't, but I wasn't. There was another lady in here.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like you were the only person there.
That's incorrect.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license on you?
I do?
Can we have that just for our records?
I don't like all this.
I
This is
understand.
wrong.
I understand you don't like it,
Yeah.
but it's the reality. Right?
No, I
We're
understand
conducting
that.
an investigation, and it appears that you have been named as a potential suspect. And so, unfortunately, by law, you do have to turn over your driver's license for our.
This is good. That's not even true. I wasn't even over there.
That could have been me. I could have misheard, but it sounded like you were the only person in there. Okay? I understand. This is probably just like, again, wrong place, wrong time. It could just be you inadvertently picked something up when you didn't mean to. I don't know what to tell you, but anything you can do to help us, we can put this to bed. If it was the other person, maybe there's video of the other person doing it, but there is cameras in there. So I just want to put this to bed one way or the other. If you could help us in that, that would be awesome. But I'm gonna need you right here. I'm sorry to be a pain.
No, it's not a pain. It's just wrong. This is really embarrassing.
I'm so sorry, but I will say, is the inside of your purse brown?
Yes.
The inside of your purse doesn't look
Well, I have
a brown Louis Vuitton in there?
no.
It sure looks like it. Right there.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Could see it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Man, I don't want to put you under arrest. I don't want you in the store.
No. That's so
Okay.
wrong.
Okay. So, can we see the purse, please? It's in front of you. I can see it in your bag. Turn over your driver's license, unless you want to get put in handcuffs right this moment.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, so
I
you
already
reach
saw
your
it in
ID.
plain view. Okay. Take the bag off. You're gonna get put in handcuffs, and I'm trying to treat you with respect.
So much, you could have gone so much easier. You just give us your ID and we'll go over.
I don't even know if this victim wants to pursue this at this point. Okay? I don't even know that. Okay? But I have enough to detain you. It's in plain view. I just saw it. Okay? And I don't want to get into a fight with you. I can see how nervous you're getting.
No, I'm irritated.
Well, I would be too if I was that lady over there and my purse was in your bag. So take off your bag because I can see it. It's not up for discussion anymore. Do you want to get put in handcuffs?
No.
Or do you want to see if we can try to work this out? Yes or
I'd
no?
like to leave.
That's not going to happen now. I already saw it. So you can either help us out here, and maybe she doesn't want to pursue this because she gets her belongings back, or I'm going to place you in handcuffs so you're going to be arrested for theft. In addition to being arrested for theft, if there's any credit cards in there, you're going to get charged with those too.
I don't have credit cards in that.
Any credit cards that are in that particular Louis Vuitton that you're covering, every single one of those is an additional charge.
I don't have any other credit cards. They're my own credit cards.
Okay, the brown Louis Vuitton that I just saw,
Do you know I have Louis Vuitton checkbook? I have Louis Vuitton wallet?
I'm sure you do, but you have been identified. I just saw that in plain view. It matches exactly to what she's describing. We're not playing this game anymore, man.
I'm not saying this game either. This is
Let
wrong.
me have your ID.
This is wrong.
I'm sure it is. I need your ID, and I will not ask again. I can assure you of that.
You already getting the ID out. Let's just get the ID out again. We saw it was in there, so we're not covering anything up anymore. Just give us the ID so we can go from there.
It's a misunderstanding, it is what it is, but we have to document everything that we spoke here, and we need to see some ID.
We can do this now here, or we can just handcuff you and cross over where the cars are. Probably one of the busiest streets in Summit. So we can resolve this here, we can resolve only 4 or 5 officers here, or we can go across the street and in handcuffs. Where there's probably going to be people who are going to be recording this on the public sidewalk, and they can do that. So I think it's in your best interest that we handle this here. So can we see that first? And can we have your ID?
I just want to leave.
That's
Well,
not
that's
happening.
It's not happening.
It's too late. Let's do it. Go ahead,
No,
Gus.
don't do that.
Yep, just, I gave
No,
you the
don't
option,
do
man.
that.
Man.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Then give it to us.
Give it over.
Can you
Stop
please look
pulling away.
over?
Stop pulling away.
Look over me.
No, stop pulling away and give us the bag.
This is not a for discussion, okay? Turn it over now.
Now, or you're going to handcuffs.
I gave you the option before.
Okay, here.
It's too late.
No.
No,
We gave you the
no.
opportunity.
Stop, man. Stop.
Will you please just help me?
We're not helping you. You're on the steps now. Ma'am, stop.
Ma'am.
Stop. This is ridiculous. Stop. You're not going to win this. You're not going to win this.
I promise you.
Don't.
All right, now you're resisting.
Ma'am.
You want to get charged with resisting too? 'Cause that's
No.
what are you doing? Stop. This could have gone a lot easier.
Relax and stop.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Freezing cold room in front of the entire public. We're trying to be respectful of you, okay? You're not being respectful of us.
Either take this bag off or I'm going to cut it off.
Here, I'll give
All
it to you.
right, take your
Let
right arm
go.
off. No, take your. You don't need your left arm.
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting.
Please stop resisting.
No, please stop.
Doesn't have to be this way. Please stop resisting.
I'm just going to cut it off in 2 seconds because I don't really care about the straps and let it go.
Stop walking away. All right, we got it. You need a lot easier. How about
I'll
that?
go down here.
Get on your stomach.
This is insane. You're a grown woman.
Oh, this could have gone so much easier. Hold on. Take your gloves off.
Take my things off.
Yeah.
Dear God, you have not seen awkward until you've watched this phone call between Donald Trump and the Artemis II crew.
So proud to be a part of this program.
Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your prime minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Administrator Alex, I'm going to just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover.
I am. Yes, I am.
Just brutal. That's almost a full minute of silence after Trump's usual inane ramblings where these astronauts can't even bring themselves to dignify what Trump is saying by responding. And so they just sit there and wait for it to end. And look, I'm lucky enough to say that I've sat with 2 presidents now. It's not exactly something that you just sit quietly and hope passes you by. There was a moment during my interview with President Biden back in 2022 that I've never spoken about publicly, but I got 15 minutes for the interview, which I used all of. And then after the interview, he spoke with me off camera for another 15 minutes, which was really special. And in the moment, I knew it was special. And there was a point at which one of Biden's staffers made eye contact with me while I was speaking with the president and motioned a little like gotta wrap it up sign. And out loud, I told that staffer in front of the president, if you think I'm gonna be the one to end this conversation, you're out of your mind. And everybody laughed because like, if you have an audience with the president of the United States, generally you wanna use it, which underscores just how unusual it is that these astronauts have an audience with the president and yet they sit there in silence. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that it's not because they don't have something to say, it's not because they don't like speaking, but rather it's probably got just a little bit more to do with the fact of who they're speaking to. And look, is it a surprise? Like, these are people who have dedicated their entire lives to science. They've worked their asses off, they're brilliant, they're competent, they're quite literally everything Trump is not. You can't fake being smart enough to manage in space the same way Donald Trump has faked everything that he's ever done. He's a con man, he's a fraud, a liar, a cheat. There is nothing redeeming about him. He speaks on topics he knows nothing about. He pretends to be an expert when he's not, on everything. He and these astronauts have quite literally nothing in common. Also, think about what Trump is actually saying here. He's directing his comments at the one Canadian crew member, Jeremy Hansen, saying that he spoke to the Canadian Prime Minister. But we also all watched what Donald Trump has been saying to and about the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney for years. We all watched what Donald Trump has said about Canada for years. The problem with Trump's constant attacks on everyone and everything is that he's lost the goodwill of everybody he's set his sights on. So no, Trump doesn't get to just name drop Mark Carney and pretend like it's all good. Mark Carney hates Trump. Canada hates Trump, and for good reason. So it's especially dense of Donald Trump to think that he gets to invoke the name of anything having to do with Canada when he has surrendered the ability to do so in good faith. All of which is sad, by the way, because this should be a unifying moment for not just Americans, not just North America, but the world. And yet, thanks almost unilaterally to Donald Trump, the world has never been more divided. Canada is boycotting American goods. NATO is at risk of collapsing. Autocrats the world over now have a supporter and a protector in the President of the United States. The Middle East is embroiled in yet another major war. American soldiers are yet again in the Middle East dying, more than a dozen of them. And frankly, democracy right here in the United States is on its last leg. And all of it, everything I just listed, is the direct result of this president and his party. He is a bucket of cold water on everything good, decent, and joyous. It's also worth noting that Donald Trump already proposed a 23% cut for NASA, along with a raft of other cuts, including cutting the EPA budget by half, cutting $10.5 billion for housing, cutting $8.5 billion for K-12 programs, canceling $15 billion for clean energy, $2.5 billion for clean drinking water, eliminating $1.5 billion for youth job training, $3.5 billion from the Labor Department, $395 million for senior employment, $775 million in food assistance grants, and the list goes on and on. And it's all to raise the defense budget from $875 billion to $1.5 trillion. That's right, every domestic program, including NASA, that Donald Trump could get his hands on would be cut, also that he could drop more bombs in the Middle East. And so he'll talk to these astronauts as if he's some champion for space exploration, when their own budget is going to get gutted because the No New Wars president can't stop dropping bombs. But I want to end this on a positive note, aside from everybody's collective disdain for this president, which I happen to think is a net positive. And that is this moment right here, where the Artemis II crew had the opportunity to name some new spots on the moon. And what followed was a moment that will go down in the history books. So I'll leave you with this as a reminder that while Donald Trump and Republicans have destroyed so much of our collective faith in humanity, it only takes a moment like this to restore it.
Thank you, Houston. We have a couple more things we'd like to take this moment for. Our science team helped us out with a couple of relatively fresh craters on the moon that have not been previously named, and our crew would like to propose a couple of potential names for those items or those areas. And we spent a bit of time this morning looking out the window, and we're able to see them now both with our naked eye and through the long lens. And so we feel this is a good time to send this down, and a special shout out to Kelsey for helping us with this. The first one we'd like to suggest is a named crater in honor of our great spacecraft integrity. And so if you were to look at Oriental on the far side and then draw a line straight up to Ohm on the far side, relatively in the middle is an unnamed crater, and we would like to suggest it be called Integrity in the future. And the second one, and especially meaningful for this crew, is a number of years ago we started this journey in our close-knit astronaut family, and we lost a loved one. And there's a feature in a really neat place on the moon, and it is on the near side, far side boundary. In fact, it's just on the near side of that boundary, and so at certain times of the moon's transit around Earth, we will be able to see this from Earth. And so we lost a loved one. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reed, the mother of Katie and Ellie. And if you want to find this one, you look at Glushko, and it's just to the northwest of that, at the same latitude as Ohm, and it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol, and you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
Before you go, I'm very excited to announce that I've written a new book titled The Day After: How to Wield Power in a Post-Trump World. The book explores what is, in my opinion, the single most important theme that we're dealing with in politics today and moving forward: power. Specifically, how Republicans abuse it and how Democrats refuse to wield it. This book explains how we got here, and more importantly, how we should finally wield power if we're lucky enough to get it back. It is the blueprint for progressives who want to do far more than just restore the status quo. Please pre-order today by following the link on this screen. You can grab yours from any of the major retailers like Amazon and Barnes & Noble, or scroll down on the page and get a copy from an independent bookstore closest to you. Thanks so much for supporting independent media.